folks, if you love hot lesbian sex, and who doesn't, and if you believe all men are shit, debatable, and if you've come to realize, as I have, that dorks attempting to bring back the mullet should be chemically castrated, then boy oh boy, Rose Glass's Love Lies Bleeding is surely the flick for you. Taking place in some redneck jerkwater New Mexico town, Love Lies Bleeding is a warped and violent love letter to the dirty underbelly of the late 80s that some of us would, well, rather wallpaper over with memories of Paula Abdul's Young Booty and shitty cornball John Hughes films. Kristen Stewart plays Lou, a listless, wasting her life away young lesbian who makes ends meet by managing a dirty, douchebag-filled muscle factory appropriately named the Crater Gym. Here we observe Lou unclogging shit-filled toilets by hand or morosely laminating gym membership cards, hopefully with the other hand. Then, one evening her world gets knocked tits over ass when muscle-bound Jackie, here played by Katie O'Brien, enters her gym rocking a pair of striped Richard Simmons shorts and biceps I would honestly fucking kill for, and thusly causing Lou to drip from all orifices with sexual desire. Now, Jackie is the proverbial stranger passing through town, here headed to a Vegas bodybuilding competition. But when the two inevitably meet and hook up for some seriously hot carpet-munching sex, the sparks set off a powder cake of obsession-fueled violence that'll lead to a shitload of dead bodies and reveal more than a few skeletons in Lou's dark past with her twisted father, here played to absolute perfection by Ed Harris. Folks, at its dark little heart, Love Lies Bleeding is essentially a genre film, a pulpy, bloody neo-noir that grabs you by the throat and drags you kicking and screaming from one oh fuck moment to the next. Boiled to its very essence, this is a film that explores the black destructive side of that oh so seductive drug otherwise known as love. Now, this isn't the Captain and Tennille farting out muskrat love kind of love.
Muskrat saying, do the jitterbug at it, muskrat lane.
Or a Sid and Nancy take on matters of the heart. A level of obsession, compulsiveness, dependency, and utter self-debasement that can have you so intoxicated with another soul, well, you'd rather put a bullet in their head than see them with anyone else. Anyone been there? Let me know in the comments. Director Glass carries through with this idea within the various relationships we bear witness to as the film lurches from one violent collision after another. Whether it's in the fiery passion between Lou and Jackie as they both kill for each other, and in fact almost kill each other as a result of murderous jealous rage, or in the desperate, unrequited affections of Lou's co-worker Daisy, whose advances Lou continues to brush off until that is Daisy, who can connect Lou to a murder, elects to blackmail Lou into doing that down and dirty with her. My kind of gal. Then there's the deranged symbiotic relationship between an abuser and his willing victim. Now here, illustrated in the marriage of Lou's sister Beth, married to a philandering, mulleted douchebag played by Dave Franco, possibly channeling his older brother James, who has a penchant for beating the shit out of Beth from time to time and gets away with it because Beth refuses to call the cops or even walk away from this creep. Then there's the cold, fucked-up paternal love between Lou and her loathsome criminal father, Lou Sr., a bug-obsessed, gun-toting monster of a man played to perfection by Ed Harris. Now, if Kim Mitchell was ever fucked by Skeletor, well, their love child would no doubt look like Lou Sr. Okay, so let's circle back to some of the performances here, starting with Kristen Stewart, who surely knows how to rock a shitty haircut like it's no one's business. Now, she's pretty fucking decent here as a young woman who, despite needing to distance herself from Lou Sr., clearly has inherited some of his more base survival instincts. Stewart does what she does best, not a showy performance. It doesn't even quite feel like, quote-unquote acting. She simply exists as Lou within the fabric of this bleak landscape. Katie O'Brien as Jackie is a total unknown to me, really, and frankly, a total revelation. Here is a woman whose warm smile and vulnerability is shakily balanced with a volcanic force of nature presence that can seriously fuck you up if you cross her. Now, O'Brien needs to really stop wasting her talents on shitty Marvel films. I mean, good lord, stop it. Creepy guy side note here, by the way. I'm sure many Gen Xers who lived in Southern Ontario, as I did in the 80s, might get a sense of deja vu when looking at Jackie. Now, damned if she doesn't look a lot like that hottie with the permed out hair in the old 20-minute jack-off videos that ran on City TV. For the youngins watching this, there was once a time before the internet porn enlightenment of the 2000s, a time when having trouble with your tranny meant your car needed fixing, and bukkake was just a noodle dish down at Chop Suey Nation near Highway 7 in Kiel. And yes, a time when a young reprobate had to resort to the, brassiere section of the Sears catalog or some random ladies' exercise show to get a little loin relief, if you know what I mean. Of course, not me. I could always rely on my personal bullpen of hot chicks to do the heavy lifting. Anyway, let me know in the comments. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So we also get exceptional work here from the rest of the cast, including Jenna Malone as the abused sister Beth, Dave Franco as her asshole husband, and Anna Baryshnikov as Daisy, the forlorn, yellow-toothed, white trailer trash gal who craves Lou with every ounce of her wretched being. And, of course, again, there is Ed Harris, quite comfortable in the skin of yet another lecherous villain role he's become oh so accustomed to playing. One gets the feeling Harris could play this part in his sleep, a vile, cold-blooded reptile more than happy to kill anyone, including family, that gets in his way. And let's talk a little about the imagery here as well. Man, it is seriously fucked up. Like, well, for instance, Kristen Stewart masturbating on a filthy couch while her cat eats its shitty food next to her feet, or Jackie hallucinating that she's giving birth to Lou, barfing her through her mouth, all gooey and afterbirth all over the place, really disgusting stuff, or the jarring close-up of a dead man's broken in half face, freshly killed by having his mouth smashed into a table edge, or Ed Harris going total apeshit, destroying his aquarium bug farm and scarfing down a fleeing dung beetle. I mean, you have to see it to believe it. It's funny stuff. And again, I think of our opening introduction to Lou as she's elbow deep in a toilet overflowing with diarrhea and soggy bits of God knows what. Really great stuff. Now, this film is about as unpredictable as it gets. And by my lights, well, that's generally a good thing. But there's a moment near the end of the film that has to be the early candidate for the most what the fuck sequence of 2024. Now, I'm sure as shit not going to ruin it for you, but let's just say you'll definitely know it when you get there. It's like, whoa, where did this come from? What fucking genre are we in again? Look, I always give points to any filmmaker willing to take a chance and put it out there. And director Rose Glass should probably get herself a wheelbarrow to hoist her monster-sized balls for this particular twist. And I have no doubt it'll rub more than half the audience the wrong way. And I'm still not honestly sure how I feel about it. But I know what Glass was going for, and in retrospect, I guess there were hints along the way of what's to come. But holy shit, you out there, girl. It's funny, on a side note, I couldn't help but think of M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable throughout the film. Like, it's not obvious at first, but then it dawns on us that Unbreakable is in fact a superhero story grounded in a kind of mundane reality. Though it doesn't really head down this exact same street, I kept thinking how shockingly different it would be if this ended up being a She-Hulk origin story. Well, certainly better than the crap Marvel shot out anyway. As for stuff I didn't particularly care for, well, look, let's get this out of the way first. I figure a lot of critics will moan and piss about wanting more background info on the characters. That's a kind of all too predictable film school criticism. The kind voiced by dudes standing in front of garish LED purple lighting with montage shots of their idiot action figures in their Blu-ray collections as I guess proof of their bona fides. For me, I don't need to know it all. I'm cool with learning a little here and there wherever it helps push the story forward, as Glass does here. Give me a small bit of info and I'm happy to let my imagination fill in the blanks. I think that's always the best way to go about doing it. Now, there is, however, a feeling early on that this was just going to be yet another Hollywood exercise in male bashing. You know, the kind of third-wave feminist black and white fantasy land that renders those with penises to be either hapless dolts or total assholes, or simply both at the same time. And I'm not sure it didn't really tip over into this area. I suspect there's some daylight between how I and Miss Glass view the sexes, but whatever. The woman's got a point of view and there's really no question as to the artistry of her storytelling. Anyway, look, if you haven't figured it out already, Love Lies Bleeding isn't the kind of flick you screen for grandma and the children come Christmas morning. Maybe at my house. It's pretty fucking abrasive. Early on, I kept feeling a compulsion to spit, as if I'd just flipped over the bed in a Motel 6 and dragged my tongue across the area of carpet that the maid's vacuum never reaches. It's certainly a bit of a tough go, but what can I say? If your constitution is strong enough, it's certainly well worth the journey. And, as I stated earlier, this is a very pulpy genre thriller, totally neo-noir. But the greatness in Glass's approach isn't in using the conventions of the genre as solid waypoints or handholds, but rather as deflection points to subvert our expectations and turn this hellish joyride into the pretty damn great film that it is. Love Lies Bleeding can currently be seen at a theater near you. I actually watched it in Amsterdam last week, believe it or not, and I think HBO Max I think they're streaming it soon. Anyway, it gets an acid test rating of hot and nasty. That is all.